Hi, I'm Michiel from Bitnami. Today we are going to play with WordPress on the Google Cloud Platform. First, we are going to spin up a WordPress instance, and then we are going to show you how to optimize your instance to fit your website's needs. Bitnami and Automattic have partnered to bring you the most secure and up-to-date version of WordPress available on Google and on AWS. So we're excited to show you how to get started. I would also like to introduce you to Eric and Ollie from Automattic. They will be diving deeper into how to improve the security and performance of your website with the Jetpack plugin. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen now. So I'm logged in the Google Cloud Marketplace. I'm going to look for Bitnami WordPress. As you can see, there are different solutions showing here. At the end of the video, I'm going to explain which solutions fit your needs. But for this demo, I'm going to use the single VM WordPress image that uses Apache. I'm just going to click on launch. So on this page, you can configure your instance. You can change the name. I'm going to change the name here. Just a moment. You can pick a different region. There are more options like changing the disk size and the networking, but I'm just going to use the default options and deploy the image.
Mikhail, at this point, I tried this deployment myself a week or so ago, and I wasn't super familiar with Google Cloud, and I was just curious, like, where would someone find all the login information?
Yes, well, that's pretty easy. The login information shows here on the right. You can already see the admin username and the admin password. Just going to copy that already. And when the deployment is ready, then the site address and the admin URL will show up here on the right as well. And then you can just log in your website.
Well, that is pretty easy. I must have overlooked it, huh? So I guess when that pops up, if you'll send those to me, then, we can do the demo of Jetpack.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
You know how long this usually takes?
This will take like about a minute.
All right. That's not that long. That's pretty quick. Now, when this is usually happening, are there other things that people might want to configure? Or is it just, do you think it'll be like all on the WordPress side?
Well, the application is already configured to use with the latest components and the latest version, so everything will work out of the box. As I will also later mention, that we recommend configuring an SSL certificate directly for security reasons, which is also very easy to do with the VNCert tool. I will explain more about that later.
That makes sense. Thank you.
So now the admin URL is already showing here. So you can just click on that, get a redirect notice here. And then we can log in with the username and the password I just copied before. And that's it. We have logged in and we have a fully functional WordPress instance.
All right, so I will take over sharing and I'll just share Google Chrome. Great, and then it was user, I believe, and then the password.
Yes.
All right, so the first thing I'll point out is Jetpack is kind of in the forefront when you first log into WP Admin. And setting up Jetpack is quite simple. You would just click this Setup Jetpack button. This is going to take you to WordPress.com. You may be wondering, what's WordPress.com and what does that have to do with Jetpack? The quick explanation is that a lot of the Jetpack features make use of WordPress.com infrastructure. So our Elasticsearch cluster, our brute force protection, which I'll go over a bit later, secure sign-on, things like that. And so this connection that we're about to authorize between this instance and WordPress.com is what allows that connection, that communication to our infrastructure. Now, when you do connect, you have your option of plans. You can choose to go as cheap as $39 a year. You can also switch to monthly billing, and that starts at $3.50 a month, US. And then you can go for a more all-inclusive plan if you'd like. That includes backup, site-wide search, premium themes, and some other features. And if you want something else more focused, you can do something with Jetpack Backups, which would only give you backups. And then you have options for daily or real time. Now, just for the purposes of this demo, we're just going to go forward with starting with free. All right, so now this has put us into the onboarding flow on WordPress.com. Now, from WordPress.com, we're going to manage a bit of the site. So this is your security checklist that'll help you quickly set up Jetpack. Pick and choose the features that you want. Excuse me. So I'm going to click Got It, and then Got It. And that was just saying I can return to the admin of my site by clicking this button when I'm done. So first, we're going to turn on downtime monitoring. So I click Try It, and then I'm going to click this toggle. All right. It's telling me that it's already set up. It's good to go. Notifications will come to my email address. It'll also send notifications via WordPress.com notification. So right here, it'll show in this notification panel. Now, I'm not going to pull that up right now because I think it has notifications from other sites. But it would also show in the WordPress app as well. So if I'm mobile. So it's saying I'm done with this step. We're going to click Yes, let's do it to go back. And then we're going to go through automatic plugin updates. So this is a feature that if you're managing a site, maybe you don't want to update all the plugins individually for each site, right? You don't want to have to log into a site, click update, wait, click update, wait, click update, wait. Now, Jetpack provides auto update functionality. So you can come here, you can click auto updates, and from now on, anytime there's an update for Jetpack, it'll automatically run the update on my site. So we're going to click Yes, let's do it. Since that step's complete, we're going to come back. We've got WordPress.com sign in. Now this is a feature that I'll go ahead and talk about a bit, secure sign-on. So we're going to turn it on by coming here and just toggling this again. Now, 1 second. Let's see what this is. It looks like there's a slight communication error on the site. Well, I guess live demos, things happen. There's a slight communication error. So we could toggle that manually on the site as well. Just to talk about what it is briefly though, it allows you to log into your WordPress site using your WordPress.com login by clicking a single button. So this would be very similar to using like a login from Google or something like that. So at this point, I'm going to go back. Let's click Site Accelerator. This is what we also call Photon. So Site Accelerator, what it'll do is it will, just by clicking this button, will start to load static files via WordPress.com data centers across the world. So last I recall, there was about 28 data centers all over the world. And that means that when a user visits your site from the United States, that they get the image from the closest data center in the United States. When they visit your website from India, they get that static file served from the closest data center to India. So now we'll go, that actually went through, so we'll go, yes, let's do it to go back. and lazy load images was the last one, which actually takes us right back to the same spot. So, it's no secret that performance is very important for sites, right? Various companies, Google, et cetera, have done research, and they say that, the longer your website goes, the less conversions you have, the less money you make, et cetera. Turning on lazy load images is one click. And now that we've done this, if we go to the front end of our website, automatically those images, anything that's outside the viewport, so you've got like a viewport and the website loads below it as well, anything outside that viewport will be deferred and won't be loaded till the user actually could see the image. All right, so we've clicked a few things, we turned some things on. Let's try this one more time. All right, it worked. So the other things I'll focus on here are, you have some options on how the sign-on works. You can, by default, it requires that the connection be turned on. You could also allow single sign-on for users that aren't connected, so by turning it on for email addresses. Now, as an extra layer of security, you can also choose to turn on two-step authentication. Now, what this will do is it'll still allow you to use that single sign-on, very similar to Facebook or Google, but it will only allow it for accounts on WordPress.com that have two-step turned on. All right, so excellent, we're done. We're gonna hit yes, let's do it. Wait, hold up. My apologies, oh, no, we're good. All right, we're gonna return to WP admin. And now we can come here. We've got downtime monitoring on. We've got brute force protection, WordPress.com login, all those things we talked about. And just to show you WordPress.com login, I'm gonna go ahead and log out. And now we've got this button right here. So we don't have to enter our username and password anymore. If you want to, you still can. So this would support it for users that don't have that connection set up. But for us, we're gonna go here and we're logged in. All right. One thing I do want to point out, we did briefly touch on Photon, lazy images, secure sign-on. I do want to walk through the backup and activity log, and then also downtime monitoring. I'll touch on downtime monitoring first. Downtime monitoring for Jetpack, you may be wondering, I guess, how exactly that works, right? Like, so real quickly, we send a head request to the front page of your website, roughly every 5 minutes. If any one of those head requests returns an error, so a non-200 response, what we'll do is we'll spin up 3 servers in geographically different locations, and then we'll confirm that. And we don't ping you until all 3 of those return that the site is down. Opposite of that is once all 3 of those say that the site is back up, we will then let you know. So real quick, the last thing I want to touch on is activity log and backup. So I'll go here. All right, so for our free plan, you do have access to a limited log of all the actions that happened on your site. So notice here that we've got the site description, we've got the site title which changed, we've got the users on this site, we've got plugin updates are available. You can see where we enabled certain features and then who did that, right? This is the important thing right here, is that I did this as the user on the site, right? From here, we can also see that there's updates available. Now, one thing I'll also show you is when you have a paid plan, you can then choose to back up and restore to many of these actions. So yesterday I was tinkering with a classic editor, and because I activated that plugin and then deactivated it, I can choose to restore to either one of those points. And this is nice because a lot of backup solutions you get are daily or even if hourly, right? But especially with a WordPress website, you don't know the state of your site at that specific time, perhaps. And so this allows you to say, I know that the issue happened after this plugin was installed. And so let's go back to before that plugin was installed. Or I know that this person, when they logged in, this was like a hacker or someone that had credentials incorrectly, I can go back to before that person logged in. So this comes with a free plan, and this would allow you to kind of go back and either download a full backup or restore to that point. When you click restore, it will automatically handle that. I believe that's all I have. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing. And then, do you have any questions, or Oli, is there anything I missed?
Yeah,
No.
well, could you like mention the main points why developers should use Jetpack? I mean, what are the main features, and
Yeah.
how can they benefit from that?
Great, that's a great question. So for me as a developer, one of the things I really like about Jetpack, and frankly, one of the reasons why I was using Jetpack before working at Automattic, is that you get a bundle of things in one package. So, I can install Jetpack and purchase a plan, and right from the start of my site, and frankly, quite quick from what we just saw, I've got downtime monitoring, I've got brute force protection, I've got the activity log, I can see all the stuff happening on my site. I can then restore to very specific points on that site. I've got the secure login, also with two-factor authentication. I've increased performance, right? And so I think these are the main reasons, all with one plugin, and frankly, in just a few minutes with a few clicks, right? And that's with like trying to slow things down a little bit to like demo. So I think having those in one package and making it quick and not having to go for individual plugins or worry about individual updates, those are the important things to me.
Okay, great. Thank you for that explanation. So I have another question. So does Jetpack make it easier to back up your websites?
Yeah, definitely. As far as with the setpack or the setup with Jetpack is basically all inclusive. So once you actually have Jetpack installed and you've logged in and connected your site, you're automatically set up for backups. Even with the free plan, your backups are available for you. There's minimal configuration needed to get that set up. And once you go into the paid plan, then you also have options for automatic restores, or actually not automatic, but being able to click through restores as well, which is super easy to work through. It's just 1 or 2 clicks to find the point that you want to restore to, or 1 click to just find the backup that you'd like to download. But, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Well,
Mikhail, I did have a question for you. At
Yes.
this point, we've kind of got the WordPress site set up. We've got Jetpack configured. Things are running a bit quicker and slightly more secure for the WordPress site. Is there anything else that a user would need to do to configure, I guess, the cloud instance?
Well, I think, as I mentioned earlier, the most important part is to set up the SSL certificate. We have a tool to really easily configure Let's Secure certificates. And once that is done, then it's basically all set up. There's really nothing the user needs to do to have a working site. And yeah.
Great. Sounds pretty easy then.
Yeah, it's really easy. It's you can set it up in a few minutes, as you saw earlier.
Nice. Well, I mean, I think that's all the questions I had. Thank you for answering them.
Yeah, well, thank you for your detailed explanation. There's just a few more things that I would like to mention. First, let me share my screen. Okay, so as I mentioned in the beginning, there are different kinds of solutions for different kinds of needs. So let's go through them one by one. First, we have the single VM Apache version of WordPress, which is ideal for personal sites and testing environments, including it includes all the default features. Then we have the WordPress multi-site, which is great if you have different domains and sites controlled by a single admin account. Then we have WordPress with Nginx, which is a great choice for dealing with a high number of simultaneous connections. So then we have the WordPress multi-tier, which is designed for high demand environments. The application and the database run on multiple virtual machines, which improves the capacity and the security. So if you have any questions about the Bitnami configuration, you can check our documentation at docs.bitnami.com/Google, or you can ask a question in community.bitnami.com. And if you have any specific questions about Jetpack, then you can visit their support site at jetpack.com/support.
One other website that I'd add is developer.jetpack.com, which would allow, it has documentation for all of the various hooks and filters and actions that developers could use. So if they wanted to tweak something that there wasn't a setting for, they could do that with code.
Okay, great. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we recommend to set up SSL with your website directly to make it secure. We have a great tool to do that. It's called the BNCert tool. In just a few clicks, you have your Let's Encrypt certificate ready. You can find more information about that in the URL, which shows in the bottom of this page. And finally, I would like to thank all of you for giving this great explanation and for joining us.
Likewise, thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Great. Well, thank you. That was it.
All right. I was a bit anxious before we started. Now we're done, so we're good. We're good to go.